Okay, sweet boy, go now on your journey. I hope it's as good as the trips you dreamed about, because finally, my sweet boy, finally, you're free.
It's been a crazy day in Israel. There's been a lot of things that have happened today, and I just wanted to quick shoot a video addressing all of the things that have happened. But first of all, I wanted to talk about Hersh's funeral today, in which John and Rachel showed us again why they are absolute leaders in the Jewish community all over the world, leading with kindness and empathy and gratitude, even when they are suffering the most unimaginable, horrific pain that any human can go through. Rachel's eulogy starts with gratitude. I mean, her son was just brutally murdered in cold blood by Hamas killers, murderers, monsters, and she spent 332 days going to the ends of the earth to try and rescue her son in vain. And she starts off with gratitude.
One thing I keep thinking about is how out of all of the mothers in the whole entire world, God chose to give Hersh to me. What must I have done in a past life to deserve such a beautiful gift? It must have been glorious.
Such a leader you are, Rachel, and you've shown such strength and grace under pressure. And I hope you know that you are loved all over the world. When you talked about how you're going to need more support as we go into this phase, now that you're out of the rescue phase and into the mourning and grief phase, and you said that you haven't done anything or reciprocated.
We're going to now need continued help to get through this sickening new chapter too. And I'm so sorry to ask, because we have given you nothing.
I would like to challenge that and say actually that you've helped every Jew around the world that is still grieving October 7th, and that you've helped bring humanity into the conversation and be calm under pressure and show us what it means to be human. You've been such a leader and such an inspiration through this hell of a year. So you have done so much. So much. Also, wanted to say that Hersh didn't deserve this, and I'm so sorry. And we loved Hersh. You introduced him to us and made sure that we knew who he was. And in turn, he really became like the American poster child for this war, which is so frustrating that it had to end like this, which also explains why there's outbursts today all over the country. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was that today was the first national strike since October 7th, because people want some sort of a deal to bring the hostages back. So that's number two. Some schools were closed. My kids' school didn't feel it that much. They were let out like an hour early from school. But this is a big deal. This affected government offices, schools, to make the point that the hostages need to come out. So there was the strike. Also, there were protests in big cities. Right now, I'm a single parent until Dan joins me in Israel, so I was not able to hop in my car and drive to Tel Aviv or to drive to Jerusalem, where Hersh's funeral was taking place. But there were massive protests in Tel Aviv, people wanting to end this war with a deal. And the fourth thing that I saw that happened today was that Benjamin Netanyahu gave a news conference explaining the importance of the Philadelphi corridor and how giving that up would mean suicide for Israel. He put up a document in the news conference that the Israeli Defense Forces, he says, found from Hamas, basically stating their playbook, saying that they want to continue to push the narrative that Israel is to blame, and that they want to put psychological pressure on Israel. I guess there's a fifth thing that happened, which is that Hamas also has threatened to release photos and videos of the 6 hostages. They have videos of them talking that they filmed before they murdered them, but apparently they also have videos of the murders of these 6 innocent hostages. So that's horrible, because people are thinking about well, how did it go down? The one thing that is the positive is that everybody understands that it's a difficult time. There is no whataboutisms, so being here is very comforting. Netanyahu did say that one of the biggest concerns that he has is that the country would fight itself, and he's pointed out in that document that that is one of Hamas's objectives. I guess that's life in Israel. If you have a friend that's Jewish, they're still feeling the effects of October 7th. This is something that people are going to feel for a very long time. There are still 101 hostages being held in Gaza. Everybody understands that this is an important issue, that it's not going away, that it's going to affect the Jewish people for a long time to come. I had a manager at the place where I used to work that essentially told me kind of to get over it. At the end of October, these things don't leave you. And if you're Jewish, it is personal. One last thing I want to say is that, Rachel, this is a very difficult time.
Okay, sweet boy, go now on your journey. I hope it's as good as the trips you dreamed about, because finally, my sweet boy, finally, you're free. I will love you and I will miss you every single day for the rest of my life. But you're right here. I know you're right here. I just have to teach myself how to feel you in a different way.
And you kept saying to Hersh, we love you, stay strong, survive. I think that the whole world loves you and is concerned about you being able to stay strong during this difficult time. We want you to survive.
And Hersh, there's one last thing I need you to do for us. Now I need you to help us stay strong. And I need you to help us survive.
It was a difficult day. A couple of my good friends did reach out to ask what life is like in Israel right now. Yes, the kids survived their first strike, national strike. It's just a crazy feeling right now, I feel safe. I feel like I'm okay. There does seem to be a lot of turmoil, but the reason that there is turmoil in Israel right now is because Israel is a democracy. That's what you do in democratic countries when you disagree with the government. You protest and you speak your mind. You can't do that in countries where there is Islamist rule or extremism. Anyway, I know that it's going to be more difficult as we still have hostages. It's just a very sad time here. The gaslighting that I felt in the States, that something doesn't mean what you know it means. We know what Hamas wants. They want to get rid of the Jewish state. They want to annihilate the Jews. They want to do to the whole country what they did to a portion of the country on October 7th. There's also a security issue. And how do you balance the security issue with the hostages? I'm just really glad I'm not in a position where I have to make those decisions. That's not up to me. But I'm a person, and I feel for the innocent people that are caught in the crossfire of this terrible, terrible situation. And I think the fear in Israel is that we don't want to see this happen to the other hostages as well, that we know are alive, being held somewhere underground in Gaza. We want them to see their families, because that's the humanitarian right thing to do. And the fact that the whole world isn't pushing for that and cheering for that to happen is a very sad situation, very sad state of affairs. We really should be doing everything we can to get these people home, because God knows what they've been through for 332 days. I'm so sorry, Hersh, Eden, Carmel Gat, all of the hostage families. I have a heavy feeling in my heart, And I don't think I'm the only one. I think almost every Jew in the world right now is probably feeling this heavy feeling, as well as allies and people who believe in democracy are probably also feeling the same way. And the sad thing is that even the people that are, well, I wouldn't say all of them, but I know that there are some pro-Palestine supporters that believe that they are, in the right and doing everything for humanitarian purposes. And to them, I want to say that there doesn't have to be the Israelis versus the Palestinians, because it really is the Israelis and the Palestinians against Hamas. Because Hamas are the brutal killers. Hamas are the ones that murdered innocent hostages, that kidnapped people. And please stop saying resistance by any means necessary, because that really is a slap in the face to Martin Luther King and the nonviolent movement, which was the most successful nonviolent movement in the world. There are ways to get your point across without torturing and murdering and raping innocent people that have nothing to do with anything. Rachel, John, Orly, Libby, and all of the hostage families, I'm so sorry today. I'm so sad and sorry for how it ended with these 6 hostages. I mean, this is like a turning point, because we haven't really seen it like this in the war so far. All right. Hopefully tomorrow will be better.